Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Brandon from Triple Kill Industries, and I'm taking a final run at what is known as Year 1 of Destiny. For those of you that play the game, you know what is looming around the corner, and that's the start of Year 2, where everything that we've been begging for the past year with this game is pretty much coming to fruition now. At this point in the particular history of this game, we're kind of at a pretty unprecedented junction point here. We don't get to see a game change this dramatically very often in the world of gaming. You know, in most cases, it's just a sequel or something like that that comes out and expands the game and does something different. However, you know, some people are calling this like Destiny 2 with the whole Taken King expansion coming out, but I can't put a number on Destiny releases because it's a persistent world. It's something that they intended on being here for the next 10 years, at least. And the game didn't quite shape out the way a lot of us, most people, most fans of the series, I shouldn't even say series, most fans of the game, have really come to find out that it's not quite what we expected, which is fine, but at the same time, there's a lot of shortcomings in this game. But all in all, the most major thing about the game that kept a lot of us playing this is the gameplay itself. The gameplay is pretty much spot on. It's fluid, it's tactile, you can feel what's going on. And that always, you know, was something that was important to me, was like not only just overall vibe of the game, but the gameplay itself. And this game has it. It's addicting because of the way it flows and the combat just gels. But the shortcomings all kind of boil down to the back end of the game, the economy system, the loot system, and most of all for me, the leveling system. For those of you who are not familiar with what went down through Destiny, if you're watching this after the Taken King comes out, actually after tonight, the 2.0 patch goes live tomorrow, September 9th. I'm sorry, 8th. I'm ahead on my days. So September 8th, Tuesday, marks technically the start of Year 2. Everybody's getting the 2.0 patch update for free, but then the Taken King material all needs to be purchased and downloaded via DLC. So, if you're not familiar what happened in Year 1 with Destiny, the leveling system was kind of a travesty. Some people liked it. I was not really a fan of it because I'm a heavy Destiny player, but I'm not like super hardcore.
This looks interesting.
I don't run the raids very often, a few times. Matter of fact, I don't necessarily.
I didn't think you'd choose that one.
Once, yeah, but ran the first raid a couple times, but it's one of those things where once you hit level 20, you know, prior to level 21 through 20, you are leveling based on experience gains, you know, completing missions and everything like that, like you would expect from an MMO. I understand that this is not a traditional MMO. Bungie likes to say that a lot, but it's not. It is. Just in a different respect. It's not an open world game that I was kind of hoping that would have been a major undertaking if it made something like that. It's what I call an open world game. When you go to different planets, you're not exploring the entire planet, you're exploring a region, which is fine and dandy, but you can't call it open world. Like they like to say it is, but it's not. You're kind of restricted to where you can go. But they did a pretty decent job with it as far as the differences with you know, areas and stuff like that. Like you step into them like you as you stepped into dungeons and say something like World of Warcraft. But once you hit level 20, you didn't level via experience gains. You leveled via light. Which, when we take a look at the inventory here, light is in your armor. It's a stat in your armor, and light constitutes you leveling up beyond level 20. Well, lo and behold, since loot is something that is either in a drop or, you know, in a particular chest that you find at the end of the dungeon, or I'm sorry, in the raids, or Trials of Osiris,
Oh dear.
or
What is that?
Prisoner of Colors was actually along the lines of that. But, you know, you could get the stuff through multiplayer, single-player events, and everything like that. It's just the whole fact that it relied on random drops, or you would get lucky and find something. There's a vendor that comes every week named Zer, who carries exotic items, and you can buy them that way as well. But I got to the point where I hit a brick wall. Like, I couldn't invest as much time in this game as some other people. They still play it pretty heavily, but not, not super hardcore that are, at it all the time. And it got to the point where I got burned out of the game because I no longer felt like I could do anything. Because you would grind and grind and grind particular things in order to get a particular drop, and you would just never see it. And then also the exotic bounties. I'm terrible at Crucible. I'm actually absolutely terrible at Crucible. So the multiplayer aspect of this game, I'll have a good match here and there, but overall, I'm just not that much of a multiplayer shooter anymore. I'm just not into it. And it's just highly competitive in this game. It's not to say it's bad, it's just highly competitive. And if you don't have your shit together, you're going down. But there's particular exotic bounties that you would get where you have to do a series of challenges in order to unlock a weapon. And, this famous being Thorn. And I couldn't complete that because of the Crucible aspect. So all of us fans got to the point where we were clamoring for more. And, all the controversy of the story issues and everything like that. But all that aside, yeah, there was no story and there was no depth in this game. We were expecting this bunch. They're masters of storytelling. The Halo series, say what you will, but a lot of the reason the Halo series succeeded was not only the gameplay, but the story.
Our new friend must have access to extraordinary methods to have reached out to us like that. The radio message she sent came from somewhere in the jungles of Venus.
You to be the legend. Go bottom. His lines were lackluster, and like I said, you can go online and do that.
This colony was built by the Ishtar Collective. Records say they once studied ruins older than humanity itself. We thought this was all lost in the collapse.
It's actually a pretty welcome farewell because the biggest addition, change is the 11 happens to be employee with the Taken King expansion installed, and everything you do gains experience points, and you level via leveling system like that, which
I don't like us getting dragged out here and not being able to get the lay of the land. But there used to be a Guardian outpost nearby. Let's see what they have on this place.
Great aesthetic, desert grade. Pretty easy to understand for the most part. See exactly what I'm talking about as far as the when I had first played Destiny, I actually started as a hunter, and as I got pretty far with the hunter, I started to lose interest in actually playing as a hunter. I wasn't overly fond of the builds that we had. It just wasn't my style of gameplay. Perfectly valid. It is pretty, it's a different thing. It's not my thing. I'm always kind of like these are glass kind of do slightly, different things as far as being able to cast spells, but, this
We're linked. Sparrow's accessible. There's a lot here about some war machines called...
I've always liked the Voidwalker class over
relentless, supremely intelligent. And they can teleport. Great.
The Nova Bomb was always fun to me, and the jump.
Let's get him back online.
Floating jump is what really pushed me into the Warlock. I just like the glide, the control of it. It allows me to be a particular way with my tactics. Sometimes it makes some pretty overall, I'm a Warlock. I have a Titan that's level 11, but I'm not going to touch him because
the Vex sensor should be up ahead.
Play the early runs of the game with the West system. Loot and crafting for the most part was okay until you guys got a legendary, leveled all the way up to the point where you wanted to do the final couple slots of armor and damage upgrades you could get out of the exotics. That's where things got a little dicey because I could get materials. So level up because materials a lot of crucible. Late in this game, which is sad because I guess the overall build of the game is great, but the back end shortcomings is what really held it back for a lot of people. I just got sick and tired. I put it down for months. Before I came back to it.
Sensors are expensive.
North. It's gonna breed some
okay, I should be able to track these machines. Let's head to those coordinates and find out what she wants us to see.
Always so much fun.
Detecting Vex. Like we're surrounded. The coordinates lead here. What is it? Let me get a closer look. Fascinating. A conflux of non-baryonic streams going where? No. It's the Vex. Better find some cover.
At least one of them got through. That was dumb. Always cool, you know, a little subtle idea with the decks about the white core in the center of them is actually their weak spot instead of headshots. Blast off their head and they run around like a freaking chicken with its head cut off. I'm saying I could play the game itself non-stop because it's just so much fun. So smooth, you know, get to do stuff like that. Wave after wave after wave, though. Ouch. Need some void damage.
Are these things?
Let's see if I even have my
Are there
build set up the way I usually
can?
play it. Or not.
Well fought.
You're here.
We haven't got much time.
Who are you?
Yeah, the obligatory shadowy figure that...
I don't even have time to explain why I don't have time to explain. I will. I will. I know.
Will what?
I wasn't talking to you, little light.
I'm a ghost, actually.
Many guardians fell. Strong ones.
You know,
but you made
mysterious, obligatory,
it
shadowy
here. Yes, I'm
figure that
listening. They are
has
here with me.
no information for you.
Who's she talking to?
Understood.
And that whole
You need my
business of who
help,
she's
Guardian.
talking to, you
Is
really
that
don't know.
why you brought us here?
I mean, you want to be vague and
They brought
mysterious
us
about
here.
something great, but, you know, you got to give us some sort of
Yes.
payoff.
Evil so dark it despises other evil.
You're not a guardian.
No. I was not forged in light. But I believe where our paths cross, ground could break. Have you heard of the Black Garden?
We've heard the legends.
The greatest threat to us all lies there,
We heard the legends.
where these machines
So anyway, wow, this cutscene that tells you absolutely nothing about what's going on.
find the Black Garden. Rip out its heart. Only then will your traveler begin to heal.
Can you help
Step
us
up.
find it?
My path's my own. I can't.
If we're going to find the Black Garden, we need to see the Awoken.
Ah, yes. The Awoken. Out there wavering between the light and the dark. A side should always be taken, little light. Even if it's the wrong side. Too late returning. How many? Hold position, kill the engines, and don't let them find you.
So, how do we find the Awoken?
They live all the way out at the edge of the darkness. The last place the light touches. Can't we just stay here with the murderous robots?
No. Little light.
Don't do that.
And there's a piece of currency that probably will not exist anymore after the 2.0 update. Ascendant shards, all that happy stuff. I think some of the stuff's going to be retained, but for the most part it's not. So when we look at like the biggest change that's going to happen is, like I said, the level and the light are going to be two totally separate statistics that do not tie into each other. They're overall important for your character, but they won't be linked. You know, light's not going to make your level go up and, you know, so forth. But one of the biggest things that's changing is this. See, the reputation system, I'll be honest with you, I can't quite remember how that's going to work. I think that's being retained. But the Vanguard marks and the Crucible marks, they are going away, which is good. It's being turned into a universal system called Legendary Marks. It sucked that it's a type of currency that you get by doing the strikes for the Vanguard marks and then Crucible marks from playing the Crucible. And it's just kind of having two separate different what's the word I want to use? Having two separate currencies there just doesn't. It's a good idea, but in the long run, it made you grind a little bit too much to the point where it's like, okay, you know, combining everything into one type of mark currency is great, because then no matter what you play, you're still earning something that you can unlock potentially for another game mode, you know. So you could be playing a lot of strikes and everything like that and get legendary marks. So then you decide, oh, well, I'd rather buy a Crucible gun with that, with what I did. So they give you the option, which is pretty nice. And that's one of the biggest things that's going to change. And then also the bounties. They are getting raised. The amount of bounties you can carry at once are going to go up, and then there's going to be a whole entire quest system. So this whole character inventory screen is going to really change with the 2.0 aspect. back here, you know, in year 1, it just got a little tedious, and then vault space is being increased. So stuff like your emblems will no longer take up inventory space or vault space. Your shaders will not as well. There will actually be boards that you can go up to in the tower in order to look at and gather, you know, your emblems, and also they'll show you other emblems that you do not have and the conditions that you need to meet to unlock them. But that's the most exciting part, is exotics. All your exotic weapons and armor are going to be visible within this you know, inventory screen and board that you can visit in the tower. And it's going to allow you to look at all the exotics that are available in the game, but the blueprints that are locked, that you have not, you know, gotten that particular gun yet or piece of armor, it's going to tell you the like small conditions that you have to meet in order to get those. Like, for instance, earned through mission, or earned through a quest, or earned through Crucible, or whatever. And then it's going to also have the blueprints of all the exotics that you have accumulated and actually collected in your inventory. If you happen to delete one of them or sell one of them off or break it down into material, which I'm not sure how that's going to work as far as what exotics break down to. But once you do all that, if there's a particular exotic that you want back, you're going to be able to reforge it and make it again with your exotic blueprints. What kind of currency, like how the currency is going to tie in and what's going to cost to, what they're going to have you do to be able to make one again, I'm not sure. But that's a huge plus. So if you happen to break down a particular exotic item that you want to get back, it's there. I don't know if it's retroactive. There's a particular helmet that I used to have for my hunter that I foolishly broke down because I needed an exotic shard to upgrade my favorite weapon. But it was kind of one of those things where I didn't know if I, you know, was ever going to use that helmet again, because I got disenchanted with the hunter and now I'm regretting it. So I don't know if server side they saved the ones that you had previously had before the patch came out. So I'd like to think so, because that'd be really good to get that helmet back that I could use for my hunter. But with that all said, that is just I wanted to make a timestamp and do one final little broadcast of year 1 of Destiny. I know I didn't show much, but those of you that played the game, this is the nice little timestamp of what the tower used to look like before we get to see the changes and the new vendors and things added. And they shift some things around for year 2. And here's to the coming of year 2, because we're finally going to get a lot of what us fans of this game actually wanted is coming true. You know, on paper it is anyway. We'll see how it executes, but till we see you guys in year 2, we will check you later.